Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Do we?
We talk movies.
That's amazing.
And in this case, we talk through movies. How's it going, guys? We're doing our Winter Soldier watch-along, as promised, the day of Captain America Civil War. It drops in the States today. I've seen it. I'm going to do my very best not to allude to anything because, hot damn, it's great. So we're going to watch Winter Soldier. I've seen it many times. It is arguably, I think, the best Marvel film as a movie, maybe tied with Guardians, but we'll get into that as we go along. And Jaden has not seen it.
I have not seen this movie.
Not seen it
I was here.
whatsoever.
I saw the first one for the first time with you.
Right?
We're
You're
going
going through the whole
motions.
trilogy. It's pretty exciting. So
We're
we
doing
have
it.
someone that's not seen one of the, without argument, one of the best Marvel movies, perhaps the best Marvel movie. We also have our resident historian and knower of all things, Alan Kistler,
Howdy.
who has seen the movie.
I have seen it maybe 1 or 7 times.
Yeah, so it's out there.
So we're going to compliment each other very well here. It's going to go really well.
And I'm just going to try to be awake enough to keep up. So, without further ado, hope you enjoy this journey with us. We're going to watch Winter Soldier in 3, 2, 1. I love the Marvel warm-up so much every time.
I love trying to realize which each
Trying to
panel
piece it
is
apart.
from.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
read it.
Yeah.
And like I just bought Marvel bed sheets last night. They have Marvel bed sheets at box launch that Shores drop at, and it's literally Silver Age comic panels with thought bubbles and blurbs and like all that all over the bed, so I can just read myself to sleep every night. It's gonna feel like that every day.
That's really sweet.
Pretty
That's really
excited. Thanks.
sweet.
Thanks.
So this is Earth.
Oh, thank you.
DC to be specific.
This is where I was born.
I was having trouble keeping up for a minute.
Oh my God, there it is.
On your left is interestingly what Marvel Studios says to DC and Warner Brothers with their films.
Especially this weekend. My God, I love that.
This is all right. I'm going to talk about storytelling as well at times.
This is perhaps my favorite character introduction
It's-
in the Marvel Universe.
It's a great character introduction. It's also a great setup in case you haven't seen the first Captain America movie. You're quickly introduced to here's a person who's just a better human being physically.
And it shows the superhumanness in such a funny way.
This is great. And this list changes depending on which region you saw the movie in.
Yep.
Oh.
And different countries have different cultural importances.
No Arcade Fire. Notice.
It did
Just
not
saying.
make the hipster cut.
Just
Did not
saying.
make the
It's like Coachella. You're gonna love it.
it's me your thing. Within 3 minutes, this movie is already better than most movies. Like this character introduction, you've introduced 3 huge Marvel characters and just done it right.
You've also done it through true character interaction rather than just exposition dialogue.
There was no exposition. We learned
Like there is exposition, but
not
it's presented as
dialogue.
what people would be speaking to each other if
Right.
they were just meeting, and if they were connecting on this thing. Now his name is Sam Wilson. That is, of course, a joke, because Uncle Sam is named Sam Wilson.
I did not know that.
That's a historical thing.
It's
And
funnier knowing that.
It beautifully sets up the difference between Cap 1 and Cap 2 with just the commentary and how things are different for him. Like, I love that 2 lines of dialogue were like, okay, Russo brothers. He's Batroc the Leaper in the comics. And he wears purple when they make it work. I'm so happy to see Frank Grillo just killing it. He's such a good actor.
He is.
Like his character in The Purge is basically the Punisher I thought the best Punisher I thought we'd get until John Bernthal was the best Punisher we'll ever get. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't able to write you. I haven't got a chance to because I've been so busy. But I was so excited when I heard about the Punisher
Oh, it's
TV
so
show.
good.
I
We're
know
gonna
I
talk about
thought
it
of you.
today.
I was like, oh my god.
it
I
happened.
heard Koi like squeal
My dreams
in my
came
head.
actualized.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
So yeah, let's talk about these characters. That is Brock Rumlow, who was introduced in the comics in 1989 as the villain Crossbones, and he has worked for a couple different supervillains.
And was fairly B-list until Brubaker's run. I'd
Yes,
say.
yes,
I'd say he
yeah,
was like
he was-
a B-list
Well, he
villain.
was essentially just one of the Red Skull's better henchmen.
Mhm.
More brutal, more intelligent. He put together his own skeleton crew at one point that he called it.
Which is kind of what this is
Yeah.
an homage to.
Yeah, but he was not, a mastermind himself.
And in the comics in Brubaker's run, they keep that, but they also give him a lot more to do, which I think ties in really well into this storyline.
Yeah, and he becomes a corruptive force, which is fascinating to see. And
This fight scene for me was when I realized the Russo brothers were the best thing to happen to Marvel
Well,
for the action stuff.
the
Yeah.
kick that's about to come
Oh,
up.
it's fucking frickin'
That kick.
that's just
He
insane.
just kicked a man off a boat. And it lets you know, yes, it's Captain America. If any of you guys still have this idea of,
That
well,
he's
he's
just a
boring
shield.
Boy Scout, and he's just a shield thrower. No.
This
no.
whole like he literally takes out an
Look at
armada of
him.
men.
Like,
It was such a smart move storytelling wise to have this in the first 10
Yeah.
minutes to really like show you this is their Cap.
and it also, it again, we're doing character interaction.
Mm-hmm.
A major thing here is how he relates to Brock Rumlow and how he relates to Natasha, the Black Widow.
I also love his muted shield. The coloring on the shield and in the new suit works so well for me.
Yeah.
It really just shows
Yeah.
who he is in this film.
Well, and it makes sense for what is the purpose of it, because you have the bright colors in World War II. He was meant to be a rallying symbol.
Right now
Here
he's a
covered
fighter
up.
for justice. Right.
So there. Which is a great. That just tells you so much about what Nat is like.
And their relationship.
Jasper Sitwell. Longtime S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the Marvel Comics. Occasionally, he was originally introduced as sort of an antagonist for Iron Man.
Oh, that's right. I remember that name now.
Yeah, he was a dude who was really convinced Tony Stark was not on the up and up.
GSP. George St. Pierre, incredible MMA fighter in real life. Awesome Batroc the Leaper in Marvel life.
Yes, he plays Batroc the Leaper, who was introduced in comics in 1966.
Who has an incredible mustache.
Yes, and Batroc was introduced as sort of, he was an incredible fighter, an incredible martial artist.
Yes. Such a boss.
I had to shut up during that scene.
Yeah, it's too good.
Yeah, Batroc was an incredible martial artist, but also had this sort of nobility to him, so
Mhm.
that he actually respected Cap in many ways.
Well, you
But
saw
this
him
is-
as like an equal fighter. Like the really cool thing with Batroc for me was always that like he liked fighting people that were hard to fight. Like
Yeah, and-
his
and
and
he-
Spider-Man's relationship I always thought was
Oh
cool.
yeah,
like
yeah. And he had an honor about him.
mhm.
He at one point he was working for Hydra, and when Hydra wanted to just shoot Cap, he actually winds up helping Cap. He's like, "No, no, you do not shoot this man. Like, we are honorable. How dare
Mhm.
you?" And it was really funny to see. It's also a play on words, calling him Batroc the Leaper, because Batrocian means frog-like,
Ha! Did not know that.
which is a play on both him being a leaper and
Oh,
a
that's
Frenchman.
solid. That's real good. That's great.
Little joke from Stan Lee there back in the '60s.
It's a good one.
This is such a dad joke.
oh,
Oh,
hardcore.
Dad. Dad.
It's almost like calling him Hoppy
Yeah, well,
You know?
Stan Lee's been
Dad.
40 for like 50 years, so
or
I mean,
Mr. Toad.
it's okay that he has dad jokes back.
Oh, Dad.
And GSP I think was a great choice and a very like surprising choice, which I enjoy
Yes.
Marvel doing. GSP was like the Conor McGregor of 10, 15 years ago. He's one of the first people that got people into MMA, like pop culture wise.
The
Okay.
Widow's Bite. I love
First
the
time we
Widow's
saw it,
Bite.
I think.
We saw it briefly in
It
Avengers.
didn't light up though, if I remember correctly. It wasn't quite as
There was a
presentational.
shock, but it wasn't right. Right. This is the true Widow's Bite, and she's got frankly, a better uniform.
Yeah, this outfit is incredible.
Everyone's got real sexy uniforms.
Well, also the
She is just not
Avengers.
built in real life. Like that's just crazy.
The Avengers costume designer actually padded her suit to make her less shapely and less feminine in Avengers.
That's a silly thing to
Yeah,
do.
why would he do that?
I believe
Like-
it was a woman. Either way.
Why would she do
Yeah, that
that?
doesn't
Like
make
that I
any sense.
assumed,
You're
I was
just
like,
like,
"Oh, okay,
"Bah."
that makes way more sense. I get this now.
It's the Lindsay Lohan Herbie treatment. Beautiful shot.
And also, again, informs you of character, because Batroc dodged that.
a shield, yeah.
He dodged the shield.
I just love that this movie really showed you can have Crossbones, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, and Batroc at play at once without feeling crowded within your opening act. Like, this movie uses characters like a chessboard.
And just like in the comics, he is a leg man. Look
Yep.
at him. Look at him rock that out.
I love they hired a fighter to fight. Look at
Yeah,
that
if you don't
guy
need to give him a
go.
lot of lines, just do it. Yeah.
And the purple yellow on his jacket is
Yeah.
such a great nod. That's something I'd wear. That's like a totally normal outfit. So good.
Sometimes even Captain America has to just,
He found a worthy opponent.
you know,
It's good to fight.
it's like, fine, jerk. I also just like this is a nice way of showing Cap knows French.
Yeah, the worldliness of Captain America. Oh, he ends him with a kick.
Mother trucker.
That teamwork, though.
Yeah.
Arrested Development to directing this.
I mean, the experience of directing shows like Arrested Development and Community, I think, really helped them develop their strengths, the Russo brothers.
Oh,
In
absolutely.
dealing with
Action
an
and the comedy.
ensemble.
Yeah.
Yeah, dealing with ensemble also. Triskelion. So the Triskelion was the Ultimates headquarters in Ultimate Marvel Comics, and recently has entered mainstream Marvel Comics as
I
a
think by way of
facility-
movies, actually. I think it went Ultimate Film
Yes,
Comic 616. Yeah.
Right, Black Panther built it recently, and it houses the new Ultimates team, the Wakandan embassy.
They're doing a great job merging.
That was really
I
the
didn't
last
even
time.
notice.
That's sort of my deal.
That's super on brand for him.
Yeah. Level 8 clearance. So did mine. Not that long. The helicarrier.
What a beautiful... Ah, it's so big. I love the scope of this movie. It feels contained and enormous at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting. They give huge stakes, but in the end, it comes down to a very personal story.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I think that's the best. It's like Star Wars. You're really there for Luke and Leia.
Mm-hmm. Great Avengers nod. Up close look. Chris Evans just made this character so much more than the comics ever felt to me. Like, there's such nuance, there's so much humility and, like, honor, but, like, naivete that works.
I mean, Cap, like Superman, like Thor, like frankly Iron Man. He's been around so long that you have periods where he's brilliant for a few years, and then periods where he's just all right for 7 years, and you're
Yeah.
sort of comparatively it's just filler. Uh, Certain writers have really gotten him beautifully. John A. Raber, Ed Brubaker,
Mhm.
Mark Waid, and I think this follows that vein of really presenting just a moral person.
I love the evolution of Chris Evans Human Torch to Chris Evans Captain America as like
Yeah.
like a maturity of man, like
With
watching
losers in between.
Yeah, just watching him be like a snarky kid to being like the ultimate adult.
Gary Sinise.
Oh my god, that is the cutest thing.
Right?
Oh my god, he's good with kids, ladies.
I love this that tells Captain America's one story while moving the story forward.
And lets you know that Peggy moved on.
Mm-hmm. This was originally a deleted scene in the first Captain America, and then they moved it to Winter Soldier.
It works better here.
Oh, absolutely. I just love the idea that they were like, we'll save it. It'll be useful. And they worked on the CGI, and like that's amazing.
Which Cap has done a few times.
I love that through line between the
Oh
films.
god.
Are you okay?
Oh,
It's so hard
to have, like,
It so feels.
It's hard to have commentary in this movie because it's just so good
Oh,
that I
I know,
watched
right?
this
I'm
movie
sitting
and
here just like quietly captivated. Like usually I'm really good at being like, oh, this is fun, but like it's such a good movie
Yeah.
so early on that I'm like,
it's such a I don't know.
like I'm gonna sit here in silence.
This and Guardians I think are just so
See,
strong.
I was weird because I was thinking about that when I was watching. It was like I mean,
Guardians is fun. This is brilliant. Like they're they're
Yeah.
so different, but I think they're just such strong individual films, not just comic films, but like smart films.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom's. So we talked about the helicarriers now having repulsor tech.
Mm-hmm.
In the original Marvel Comics, S.H.I.E.L.D. was already getting Stark tech before Nick Fury joined. And actually it was Stark who recommended Nick Fury to be the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Huh. Have you noticed in the comics they've added this council and the same style of art?
Yes.
Like the last month or so, this has all been introduced.
So there.
I'm Robert Redford. Deal with it.
There's just chairs there to make it look like they're sitting in chairs.
Basically.
That's interesting.
It's like they're wherever
it's
they are,
creepy.
Have you
sitting in
seen
their
those
chairs.
holograms at the mall? They have to have like a shape of a person. They project a hologram on it, so it feels like it's more of a person. It's terrifying.
That's how they take over.
Yep,
That's
it's all
when the
over you
robots
guys.
come.
Life model decoys. So, Robert Redford is playing Alexander Pierce, who here is a very different character. In the comics, he was one of Nick Fury's top agents in some Black Ops work.
And I always felt like he was a much smaller character.
He was a much smaller character.
I thought it was interesting they pulled from there.
This is really nice. Was this something that was big in the comic books, like a big theme, or is this something
Captain
that was in
America
a
always
particular
represented
movie?
the soldier, and I thought the movie handled that well.
Yeah, because that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
our reality.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure if it was in the. Did they ever reflect that in the comic
They
books?
do. They do on occasion, yeah.
I'd say Cap is
And-
probably the most politically tied comic consistently.
Oh,
Like,
tremendously.
the Sam
I mean,
Wilson Cap
even
comic
in
right now is,
creation.
well, the current Sam Wilson Cap right now is like a Trump commentary. Like this is the commentary
Yeah.
of this time. Like they've always used Cap very well.
I mean, in the 60s, when Cap is unfrozen, like it made mention, it's not an accident that he immediately jumps back into superhero work with the Avengers and then S.H.I.E.L.D. because that was his way of readjusting to the world by sticking with people who were familiar. He understood what a superhero was. He understood what S.H.I.E.L.D. was.
And Sam Wilson's
generally.
PTSD is a great use of modern time issues and making this relevant in a superhero
Yeah.
film.
Yeah, it makes him much more human.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even,
And it's something that I wish was talked about and displayed more in our pop culture. I work with trauma specialists and I've worked with some military who've had PTSD, and it's something that does not get tackled.
that's
Often
what I
enough,
really liked
you
about
know.
it. That's what I was like, oh, that's like, yeah, that's not something you see in like a clean
And-
Hollywood film.
Yeah.
And I love this idea that was shown in Age of Ultron, where they just kind of talked about like, what would you do if you weren't at war? And he was like, I don't know, ultimate fighting, and like there's jokes about it, but he literally doesn't know what his life is without battles. And
Right,
in Age of Ultron, they had that amazing dream sequence where the nightmare was that war was over and there was nothing for Cap to do. He's a soldier,
he's alone.
always. Right.
And he's alone. That was his big fear.
And
Captain
that's a
America
great-
is someone who wants friends around him.
he needs
he
people
needs-
and he needs something to do.
Right, he needs his compass.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, in the 60s, even in some of the early stuff, you saw him wonder at times, is there a Steve Rogers anymore? Am I only Captain
Mhm.
America? That's typical of DC. I'm going to say that right now. I have had that happen to me, and
Jesus.
that sucks.
This
What is
sequence.
what?
That car is so cool. This is such a cool use of shield tech.
It's about to get real.
Holy. What?
You're not ready for this movie.
No,
Jaden.
not
Ready?
emotionally at
It's
11
only just
o'clock in the
begun.
morning.
If you need to grab my
What
arm,
is-
you may.
Right? What? This car is intense.
Shield. I love the use of shield tech. It's so grounded but crazy.
Do they have a what? Do they have like a brand? Was there any sort of like we have to make sure this is like a
Like GNC.
was it a plug? Yeah.
Here we go.
GNC.
Yes.
They win. That would be so. That would be the most unbelievable part of this
If
movie.
it was like, yeah.
There are superheroes. They're
Cars exploding.
exploding. If that was a GNC van, I'd be like, ow, I'm out. This movie is
That's it.
so
Too much, too
unrealistic.
much.
Yeah. And there's a turret in it. Oh man.
See, vertical takeoff. In the very first S.H.I.E.L.D. comic,
Yep.
we saw a flying car, and that's been a staple of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I like that they address it, but also then give you a reason why
Why
he
it
can't
doesn't-
just fly away.
Yep. I couldn't believe how. I couldn't believe how well you've seen 100 car chases, but somehow this one's much more exciting. Like they did a great job making
Well-
it new.
I think there are two things that make this interesting. One, we give a crap about this character.
Mm-hmm.
Two, along with there being a mystery of who's attacking him, you see that he has great equipment, but it's not all reliable. Like
Right.
it's failing, it's getting damaged. So there are elements of danger of I have super equipment, but nothing's impenetrable.
And it's beautiful exposition through super equipment. Like there are no police in this area. Like
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff is so well done.
Mhm.
It's telling you just what kind of threat he's facing. Like that's honestly the scariest line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, this is this. It's,
And then cops with AKs
guys,
running
it's
across
intense. I
roofs.
don't
Yeah.
even know what I'm saying.
Sounds.
Like, how
I'm
deep
just
does
like,
this go?
"Bleh," right?
And immediately it goes into what Steve was talking about.
Power in the wrong hands and judgment
Yeah,
before.
and you know, that just because someone's wearing the uniform and is in a position of authority doesn't mean that they're the right person.
And it doesn't mean they should be the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, which goes into Civil War.
Beautifully. That's why it's important you're watching this before.
Yeah. Wait, I guess it would be weird if I watched the third one then the
Without the second one, yeah. Especially with like the same
I
directing.
understand how
this
chronological
driving.
orders work,
One,
Coy.
2, 3.
Look at this driving.
Oh, wait, let me try again.
See, that's the other thing. This driving looks raw. It doesn't.
This doesn't feel like a car chase. It feels like
It doesn't look like Fast and the Furious.
right. Which has its place, just not.
Which oh no,
Just
Fast and
not
the
in
Furious
I
is
this
freaking love those
Yeah.
movies, man.
No, it's fun as hell.
It's just
but
not this.
It's like watching a ballet versus watching a street fight.
Right. This is a beautiful street fight.
A ballet street fight.
That's Cap. Cap is a
Captain
beautiful ballet
America
street
is
fighter.
a ballet street fighter.
Mother trucker.
And I love just showing how great Nick Fury is. Like, just Nick Fury gets his own action set piece via an SUV. Yes. Winter Soldier, just that intro. This movie's so good at just dropping awesome characters into the scene.
And again, that action tells you so much about the character.
Calm,
where he
controlled.
chose to stand even. He wanted to be seen before he made the attack.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mace Windu's lightsaber comes into
Yep.
play.
Yep, lightsaber.
Where did he go? The sewer? Like
Yeah,
what?
he's joining with the Ninja Turtles.
I
That's
know,
the
right?
crossover.
Oh, this is the
That's-
Ninja
yeah.
Turtle one.
He recruits some of the Avengers
Oh.
at the end. It'll be like
How
Michelangelo,
great.
Leonardo.
He's like,
Ninja Turtles, or as
Cap
we call
just
them.
looks at you. He's like, "What do you think, Michelangelo?" He's like, "Cowabunga, dude."
And then he's an
Yeah.
Avenger.
Yep. They go to a pizza party.
Hey. Now take note, guys. Dudes who ask people out. Steve makes
Respect,
a play,
cute,
but
respect.
respects, all right, perhaps another time. Lets her decide whether
And she
things are
flirts right
continuing.
back, and it
Yes,
stays adorable.
But it doesn't accept that as an immediate invitation of like, oh, I should follow her to the laundry room or anything.
Be more
Respect-
like 50s men. Men.
No,
When the
don't.
men were
Wait,
like
wait,
men.
not
Wait,
those
no,
kind of 50s
no.
men. Be more like 50s Cap.
Be more like
50s
Captain
Cap.
America. Be more like Captain America in every way you can.
For a moment, it made sense in my head, and then I
Yeah,
immediately
it's like,
remembered
no,
the
Yeah,
50s.
oh no.
Have you not seen Mad Men?
Happy days in Captain America, you guys. That's all I got. That's all the
That's
50s
so
I got.
It's
great.
like that meme where like people
Yeah,
talk
wow,
about.
the 50s were great.
Yeah, apparently that's my
Yeah.
only relation
We're
to
still in the 50s.
That's
We-
you're like the sweetness of a child.
it.
It's all right.
It was good.
I've got a couple secret children in the comics.
Ooh, that's.
And a brother. He's weird.
I never noticed you turn the light out so you could see the phone better. That's great. The weight of that statement via text.
And see, he's not typing that. He was prepared for what are Steve's most obvious questions.
Open, open, open.
Thank God the neighbor wasn't there. She's like, I'm just gonna go.
Doing
It seems
laundry.
you seem busy. Like,
Got some whites.
That's my porn stash.
it's his wife coming.
What up? I'm just going to do laundry.
Oh.
Oh.
Foxtrot, Fury, F.
Zero
What
Dark
I
up?
love the use of the shield as a battering ram in this entire scene. Like, it's so brilliant. Look at that. Yes. Also worth noting, Chris Brewster is Captain America's stunt double in this film, and Chris Brewster is also Charlie Cox's Daredevil stunt double.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all of the
nice.
wonderful flying kicks and awesomeness, everyone hire Chris for everything. Ninja Brewski on Twitter, he's awesome.
Oh my God.
For those just joining us, we are now at the Winter Soldier catching Captain America's shield moment. That is awesome.
So Agent 13 just showed up. That is Sharon Carter,
Huge thing.
who was originally introduced as the younger sister, then as comics progressed, the very young niece
Yeah, they
of
had to,
Peggy Carter.
continuity had to change for age. This is my 60 years younger sister.
But Agent 13 was Peggy's code name during World War II as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the original comics, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And Peggy was sort of a combination character of previous characters. In the very first Captain America comic, there's a woman working at the facility, the super soldier facility, who's called Agent X-13. And then he started teaming up with an FBI woman named Betsy Ross. And then when Jack Kirby and Stan Lee brought Captain America into the Marvel Universe, they were referencing the older comics but weren't beholden to them. They were sort of redefining continuity. And they had already introduced Betty Ross into Hulk comics.
Which is a thing.
Right, which they didn't want to reuse that name. So Betty Ross and Agent X-13 were combined into a character, Agent 13, a.k.a. Peggy Carter of Virginia.
Ah. Nick Fury just died, you guys. One thing I think this movie does incredibly well is we were just introduced to Maria Hill, Cobie Smulders, who we've met before, but they didn't make it like a big grandstanding moment like a lot of comic films tend to do, where it's like, look at this person from this other thing. You should be proud. It's just like, hey, this makes sense for her to be here.
Yeah.
She would be here.
Yeah,
Let's move along.
Yeah, she's the second.
Yeah, and I think that's Marvel does it really well most of the time without being like, no, that's us.
I'm just looking at the chat room.
Oh, yeah, it's a...
Oh, it's us. It's crazy.
We're paused on us.
Oh, man. He's so funny.
This movie's brutal.
There are a lot of movies today that are afraid of silence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great that this is not. They let you absorb things. They let certain things go unsaid but implied.
Yeah, it doesn't fill you with exposition. It lets you... It knows you're smart enough to...
People don't have to tell you their feelings.
Right, because they don't normally.
Yeah. We hang out.
We bros.
Give me a second. I'm Captain America. Well, I wasn't raised from birth to be a spy, lady.
Yeah. Also, I represent truth, justice, the American way.
Like, me and Clark Kent get along.
kind
Jeez.
of a smiley bro, like kind of a nice guy.
What?
He knows no one buys bubblegum anymore.
It's anti-bubblegum commercial. You know where it's safe? Behind this $2 bubblegum.
Oh my god.
Ice
So
cold.
funny.
He doesn't even bother
I
calling
feel like
her.
it needs that like doo-doo-doo, like what's the button like boo boo boo.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
It doesn't
That
he
air
won't e-
horn.
He won't even call her by the cover name because he's just like, that is not your name.
Neighbor.
We're bros.
Let us be bros.
Aw, you can't lie.
Patriot Act commentary.
You tried to make a joke there. Not so, said Dad.
Papa Redford. You know, a movie's good when you're just enraptured in long bouts of silence. I keep just watching this movie.
This is again the theme of the movie: realism versus idealism. Do they have to be in conflict? Complimenting my new uniform.
Probably not.
He is so honest, but slightly omitting truths.
It's like a Vulcan.
It's right. It's like he's in this weird loop where he can't lie, but also can't
he is Captain
break
America.
someone's trust.
The slightly more colorful shield is great.
So, this suit in the comics was actually one he adopted after he'd been believed dead for a while. Bucky had become the new Captain America. Steve took on a role as sort of a world super cop.
He was agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like it was
the
the
only S.H.I.E.L.D. agent,
Yeah.
like basically, yeah. And another point that just came up: the ship that Batroc was on was called the Lemurian Star. And Lemuria is in Marvel Comics. It's an underwater race of people who are connected to the Deviants. They fought Namor, the Submariner, several times.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it's interesting that there's a ship called the Lemurian Star.
Oh, sorry. I was reading the back of the Blu-ray. I missed
Prepare
something.
yourself for this.
Oh no! Stop, guys. I can't emotionally take this.
Steve's noticing they're hanging out in the elevator, kind of weird. And now very broad-shouldered businessmen are
Oh,
walking
these
in.
guys are so well. You know, their knuckles are. This was teased at Comic-Con beautifully.
Yeah. Do you need to hold someone's
Like,
hand?
here, give
You
me
got
your
this.
hands.
You got
like,
this. I believe in you.
Okay.
It's coming. I believe. Oh, these guys look like respectable gentlemen.
Oh, it's so tense.
This is actually the bar level. Those are bouncers just getting off shift.
People watching in the live chat.
The bar level.
Our
Like
hands are
they
now
rent out
crushed.
the 4th floor to like Club Deviate or something.
Gentlemen.
Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god, this is beautiful. Oh my god, guys. Seriously.
Do not try to punch a man who can lift half a ton over his head.
20 dudes.
But the,
with
like, the
decap.
little briefcase,
That
like,
was so cool. The
the
gadgets in this are brilliant.
Sit well.
Whoever designed the gadgetry in this film, thank you. It's
Oh,
awesome.
so
yeah, well,
brilliant.
shout out to that person. I don't know who you are, but
It
like,
is-
we'll find your name and we'll.
It is so
Thank
Jack
you
Kirby-ish.
personally.
Yeah.
Like just taking everyday objects and revealing they're really weapons.
Or if anyone knows, let us know who it is.
Anyone that hasn't seen Frank Grillo in Warrior should watch that film.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
But the truckers act like they forgot about Dre.
fluid movements of awesome.
Cap can improvise, man. That's what makes a good superhero. Improv.
Improv. Yes, and?
Yes, and.
That's right, UCB. You're breeding some heroes.
Can't go out that way. Yes, and?
Yes,
go out
and?
this way!
Oh, you gave him a gift. There you go.
Vibranium absorb this. Oh, that would not feel good.
Oh, I mean, sure he could do it, but it doesn't.
Yeah, vibranium.
It absorbs all, so that would only be some of the impact.
Vibranium does have limits here and there. Like, there should have been a shockwave from that.
No, no! He jumps out on the motorcycle.
Straight out of a comic. That was like comic panels.
Well,
Marvel does a great job using motorcycles. I'm going to give them
Yes,
full credit for their
and-
motorcycles.
Ah!
Their Harley sponsor was very well thought out.
Still feel like the GMC is the most unrealistic part of this.
so
Yes! There's your
No,
yes and,
no,
you guys.
he doesn't.
There's your yes and.
Oh, I thought and he's back on the motorcycle.
what's
I thought
great?
he was gonna do-do-do.
Yeah.
It's like
See-
like an Indian film, like the
Oh.
crazy action films.
I love how they have Cap move
Bolly
in
film.
this. It looks like Joe Majura art, or or Ed McGuinness actually. It looks like Ed
Well,
McGuinness's Cap.
This is also, though, informed again by his experiences, because in Avengers, he has seen how these things move
Mm-hmm.
when one of their turbine engines is messed up with. So what does he do? He immediately takes out the turbine engine, just like what happened to the helicarrier.
Because
in
he's a
Avengers.
tactical genius first.
Cap wouldn't lie.
He can't actually, apparently.
He pinky promised he wouldn't. Did someone buy it? Which should be right there. Does he have to buy?
Someone bought. Why wouldn't they buy Eclipse?
Oh, that's funny. No. Just like stop.
Cool boogeyman story.
He trusts his friends. I do wish that we got a stronger idea of what is the authority of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And what is the authority of this council
Yeah.
over S.H.I.E.L.D.?
The World Council, but
Yeah, I was like, who makes the decisions here?
Yeah, because
Like,
that's
it's a little muddled, I feel like.
Well, it's so much story to tell already.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, they should have done that in Avengers. That
Oh,
was, that's
100%.
my bigger complaint about Avengers. Not
They're
explaining
just kids
S.H.I.E.L.D.
at the mall, like, hello, fellow children.
I love his glasses. It's like, this works for my friend Clark.
He believes in similar ideals.
Weirdly, I too have checked classified information at the Genius Bar.
It's the place to go, man.
They're just so helpful.
Here comes a great cameo by DC Pearson.
An AI that keeps rewriting itself.
Ooh.
What could that be?
They're doing this just like in an Apple store.
Yeah. With a big
And, like,
sign
a
that said MacBook Pro in front of them.
You know what?
he-
Homie's got to eat.
Yeah. Those shields ain't cheap.
But in reality, an Apple Genius every couple minutes, like, can I help you with something, guys? You guys need
Are
any
you
questions?
why are you in our store? Because
Need
you're playing
anything?
with stuff, or there he is.
Oh,
DC.
I knew
There's
it.
there he
I
is.
knew it. New Jersey.
Mark Kostecki in the live chat. We know it's a riveting commentary. It's so good.
He like blows him a kiss, please.
Is that
I've
the
been
closest?
Aaron.
Is it the closest we've gotten to a gay or bisexual dude in a Marvel film?
You heard the Russos
Yeah.
talk today, right?
Nah, I didn't.
Russos are saying that there's no reason that they shouldn't, and that such a public company, they feel it's their responsibility to make it happen sooner than later.
There's been a growing fan. I don't know about theory is the right word, but certainly a shipping desire that Steve and or James are bisexual. I would be fine with that as a huge Captain America fan. Totally
Yeah.
fine with it.
Oh no, is something bad gonna happen to Eric?
Also,
Eric's like, I got him. Like, following him, like,
Under his hair.
yeah.
Captain America comics were the first mainstream Marvel comics to create a gay character in a positive light. We met in '81 Captain America's childhood friend Arnie.
Mm-hmm. That's the most Captain America line they've had in the film yet. Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
But yeah, Arnie was a guy who protected Cap in the neighborhood from bullies. And when they
Maybe
met
they-
again as adults, Arnie was, if you were old enough to pick up on it, very clearly gay. And Cap, when he realized that, was startled. And then you just saw him smile. And he walked off and thought about how great love is. And it was this lovely acceptance.
I'd say Infinity War will have a character no matter what, from the sounds of things, and that'll be great. $1 billion film.
Yeah.
So I gotta kiss girls all the time. Like,
I love their relationship.
Again, you're hearing one person who's talking about how they think the world is, and one person who says how they think the world should be.
Every little section of movie reveals hours about the characters, and
Really?
the
Yeah.
writing in this, it's just so tight. Like, you can extrapolate so much from so many moments in an action film, it's crazy.
Camp La High. In the comics, it was Fort La High, because we weren't in the war yet when Captain was introduced, which is part of why he was so political.
They do such a good job tying in the first film because it's so different. Like it's something.
There's just something magical about that moment. Again,
Tactical Cap knowledge.
he's smart. He's smart.
He's smart, kid.
Old school S.H.I.E.L.D. logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Strategic Scientific Reserve, as it's called in the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is what then became S.H.I.E.L.D.
And I love the idea that it started on his whole base, because that would be something they do as an honor.
Yeah.
And Peggy, like, there's so much that ties into making that work.
Well, in Avengers Initiative, they built the superhero training base on Camp Hammond, which they named after Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, who was arguably, in the comics, Marvel's first superhero.
Who had a small cameo in Captain America.
Yes, we saw him in a glass case.
In a stasis tube.
Because we can't actually use the Human Torch because it's a Fantastic Four property.
Even the original, the Golden Age one?
It's still a Human Torch.
A Human Torch is the problem?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. It's enough of a legal gray area, no one wants to mess with it.
Mm-hmm. And most people wouldn't know that the Golden Age existed, so they'd assume that Human Torch was the Human Torch.
Right. Exactly, it's too well associated. How we doing in the chat, guys? Everyone enjoying the flick?
We got 17ers, 19? It's fluctuating.
What up, 19 people?
At 11 in the morning on a Thursday.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
This was the moment I knew that the Russos could do anything. This was the moment where I was like, okay, give them Infinity War, because they can do anything.
Oh my god, I love it. It's so like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory newsroom.
You know hipsters are going crazy for this tech, though.
Yeah, they're like, that's where it's at.
Pre-Apple One. Like your buddy with his Apple.
This might as well
there
be.
you go.
This
Buddy,
might as well be
Eric and
Univac.
Apple.
I love that she references War Games, but immediately assumes Cap doesn't know it.
And he said, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes!
The movie, this grounded, and this, like, true to real life, having Arnim Zola.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
Which is what we did.
them trusting us as an audience to like be okay with this level of tone change is so great.
Yeah, this.
It works.
The stylized montage is so perfect.
So Winter Soldier killed Tony Stark's parents in this universe.
And Steve Rogers is watching it. Yeah, I never caught that. Dominic Cooper just like blatantly being, yeah.
In the comics, the Roxxon Corporation was implied to have
Right.
caused the car accident.
But
that
it makes
killed them.
way more sense to have the direct correlation.
Well, because this also then leads into Civil War again of a conflict between the heroes.
Mm-hmm. What a great like supervillain rants and gives away everything because they assume they're gonna die by way of robot.
Yeah. Well, also, again, we didn't just have exposition for its own sake. There's a reason the character is revealing this information. There's a reason the character is talking.
They the Russo brothers went on Screen Junkies and were talking about how they tried to make it honest trailer proof and like really just catch
Yeah.
every little.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I saw
and
that.
scenes like this are a great way to write themselves out of corners.
Yeah. Yeah, so in the comics, folks, if you're not familiar, Arnim Zola was one of Kirby's weirder villains, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Where he was indeed a Nazi scientist who showed up in modern times in a robot body that had a little camera head and a TV monitor for a torso that showed an image of Arnim Zola's enlarged face. And so that computer with the camera on top is basically as close as we're getting to that robot dude. And-
But that's way closer than I ever thought we'd get.
Yeah.
I
He
thought
al-
the closest we'd get was that image of that drawing in Captain America 1 of Arnim Zola.
Well, yeah, when you also see him through the computer monitor
Yeah.
at one point, yeah. But the video monitor.
In the very that's the first time you see him. Like
Yeah.
like the first shot of him.
Yeah, which was a great little nod and reference. Yeah, Arnim Zola in the comics was a master geneticist and wound up prolonging the life of Adolf Hitler by cloning him repeatedly and letting him
right.
becoming the supervillain hate monger.
I forgot Hitler came back.
Yep. One of those early Jack Kirby, Stan Lee comics because they were crazy, man. They were crazy in the best way. Wait. Your maid's there late, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Like-
of questions there, Redford.
Yeah, this.
That just makes him more unlikable. Like, wow, he keeps his maid there till like
Drinks
Well.
milk.
drink.
Yeah, it's not even that it's a romantic tryst. He's just that much of a.
Yeah, demanding
Yeah.
overlord.
You will clean my sheets until I like it.
By
Just stay
hand.
there. Oh man, that sucks.
This is why you don't forget your phone, everyone.
Yep.
Never forget
Check
your
your
phone,
pockets.
dude. You don't want to end up like Renata. I want to go into her life.
I love the idea of this just being a pseudo sequel to Hurt Locker. Like his character in Hurt Locker saw some stuff, came back, teams up with Captain America.
Great line. Everyone we know is trying to kill us.
And then Hurt Locker is a pseudo sequel to 8 Mile. So
Yep.
he starts off battle rapping Eminem, decides he can't rap, goes to war, gets out of war, teams up with Cap.
I like it.
That's my shared universe, you guys.
I like it.
That's how I connect Chris Evans to Eminem. Gratuitous tank top Chris Evans shot. Killing at the gym, bro.
Hey, some of the ladies and guys deserve some of this cheesecake.
Oh, dude. Do you work out like that? Never wear a shirt.
Yeah, nah.
Rob Nips just said, "Happy Cinco de Mayo, the only Spanish woman gets killed."
Oh, it's okay. Ant-Man introduces a Latino character who's also a criminal. Oh, Marvel. Improve your Latin stuff. By the way, here is both a cool and sad thing about the shared Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Natasha here is wearing a necklace that is an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was to indicate her connection to Hawkeye. And it's well known in the comics that she and Hawkeye had an on-again, off-again romance. So this was an implication that was the case in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And then in Age of
However,
Ultron.
in Age of Ultron, we learned that Hawkeye has been happily married for a number of years.
I like
unless
to
those
think
are stepkids.
they were together before, and then they broke up on good terms. She wears the necklace in honor of
Right,
their past relationship.
Right, it's just one of those things
Yeah,
where a
let's go
later
with
movie
that.
really
The
changes.
50s are good, and that's
The 50s are good, and infidelity doesn't exist because
Yep,
happiness.
There you go. I want to live in Koi's world.
It's all good, you guys. Timing.
Everything's great.
Everyone's trustworthy, especially spies.
I like that his house looks lived in. There are
Mhm.
dishes that haven't been washed. There's stuff on top of the fridge.
He drinks a lot of wine. Do you see that bowl of corks?
Yeah.
Hurt Locker was rough, man.
Yeah, man.
There are pictures of flying machines on the
Oh man, this is a fun game.
the
I don't know.
wall.
I don't trust a man who keeps his barbecue sauce. His...
Yeah, there it is.
By the way, I'm sort of a superhero too.
What?
Once again, Nips. S.H.I.E.L.D. picked up Hawkeye when he was defusing bombs. Another Hurt Locker tie-in. Yeah.
Said I flew. Tells you all you need to know about Sam.
Yep, that's perfect. So good. Yes. Rest in peace, Gary Shandling.
I'm still sad about that. Gary Shandling was a comedic genius.
Mm-hmm. The moment that
This
launched
is-
1,000 memes.
This is a great connection because Iron Man 2, which is not a great movie, suddenly has more relevance.
Right.
Because now you realize that Senator Stern here was not trying to acquire the Iron Man armor for the U.S. government, really.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to, as a member of Hydra, get access to it for his own means and for Hydra's agenda. This is it.
Oh.
Jerk. Falcon, people!
Oh, heck yeah.
Now, this is why... actually, this is important. Stephen Strange.
First mention of the MCU.
That was when, in the theater, like a third of the audience went, and the other 2/3 went, huh?
Why is everybody...
What?
Hey,
Who?
so good. What a great way to use a machine supervillain.
This is, in a way, very similar to Isaac Asimov's psychohistory idea, which became the basis of the Foundation series, which for years kept winning awards over Lord of the Rings for best sci-fi or fantasy trilogy. That you can use math, statistics, and psychology to figure out the future of people.
That arm.
That arm, though. I love that whoever built his robot arm decided it needs a star. It can't just be a robot arm.
Nope, needs a little something, little flavor.
Semiotics are important.
So cool.
Now, part of why I give Ant-Man crap for not introducing Wasp.
The wheel! Oh my god, it's,
The wheel!
who's driving?
No one.
It's Ki. He's just sitting there going,
I'm Falcon.
It's okay, it's a Toyota. They're the best cars.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh!
Cap using the door as a shield.
Just like he did in the first movie.
Yep.
Yep.
or in the movie Speed. No.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk more about Speed.
Let's talk about other movies when we watch this movie.
But yeah, so with Ant-Man, they kept saying like, well, you need the right thing to introduce Wasp, and you need to just like, no. Because the Russo
Holy-
brothers.
Oof. Hey, Speed.
There you go, Speed.
And then Keanu Reeves. This
Just
is where
hops out.
they're.
Sandra Bullock's there.
Yeah.
That
Big
cross the
universe, you guys.
Yeah, like,
Huge universe. Ginormous. The
The
world.
Russo brothers just showed you can introduce other superheroes so quickly and simply.
This one has so many that just introduce themselves with great dialogue.
Exactly. So the whole thing of like, well, you can't introduce Wasp in the Ant-Man movie. You have to like.
How about we introduce
Set her
Falcon, Winter Soldier, reintroduce...
Yeah. It's complete crap. It just means you didn't want to.
I love the firing squad just walking calmly behind Winter Soldier. That is such a beautiful image. Like, this feels like all the best parts of a 90s action movie,
Yeah,
but
the
with the
music's
intelligence.
really cool.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's a spy thriller with Captain America in it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Ooh. Ooh, he's very good looking. It's very intense.
And Black Widow, I don't think gets enough credit in this movie. Like, she does an
Black
incredible
Widow
job.
in this movie is exactly what I wanted her to be in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
She's an amazing character.
She's fleshed out. She's got nuance. She can fight.
She has multiple facets to her character.
Right, and every time her dialogue fits. Like,
Yeah.
she just seems like I believe all of her
Well,
commentary.
especially in action films, there is a trap that people set up for themselves where they make the women either extremely effeminate and also not know how to fight, or they know how to fight, and therefore they must also be masculine.
Right, she is
and
feminine.
with no sense of humor.
Yeah, she is just a woman who can fight. Like, she's
Yeah.
just a multifaceted character.
In the same way that Cap is just a guy who can fight.
And I think that, I mean, not to narc any other studio, but, like, I think Black Widow is one of the better female action heroines in film right now.
Agreed.
And that, I don't think she gets enough credit.
Depending on which movie you watch.
Right,
Yeah.
From this point forward.
From this point
phase
forward,
2
yes.
on, I would say.
In film, Black Widow. On TV, Jessica Jones. That's my
Well, I mean,
girl.
Jessica
Jessica
Jones.
Jones
Jessica
is just
Jones
marvelous.
is
She got a
so
Peabody
cool.
for a reason. Jessica Jones is a near
I
perfect series.
love how they wrote her.
That was a great improvement on the comic too. I'll say that.
And I gotta. That's
Yeah.
rare because I love Bendis personally. So to improve upon
Yeah.
Bendis was great for me.
I think it helped that you had a female showrunner and female directors.
And
Like,
someone
you
who's
got-
been wanting to make that show for so long.
Yeah, you got the perspectives that you really needed to make that something that could talk about rape and that kind of trauma without glorifying it in any way, without making you feel like a participant in it. It was brilliant.
Welcome to Noon Commentary, guys. We've just woken up, and the gunfire's helped, and here we are.
Now, does the mask have a practical purpose?
It looks
to look
cool.
awesome.
It just looks awesome. I mean, I'm not against that in a superhero movie. I am definitely not in the everything must have a practical purpose camp, because it's freaking superheroes.
My mom just got in the live chat. Let's give a shout out to my mom. You
Hey,
guys.
Quinn
Oh! What up?
happy
Quinn Mom.
early
What up,
Mother's Day,
Mother
Mom.
Jandro?
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah.
Oh!
She's just
Wait.
so. I love how she uses her legs in all the films. In such a her fighting style is so on point for her character in the comics.
And see, this is another thing this movie does well. It gives every character a different fighting style.
Right. They all have their moves and they use
Yeah.
them. Like
And they all have their style of what kind of weapon or tactics they will use. You know, Cap would not jump onto your back and
And
try to strangle you.
with his legs, no. But
Yeah.
she would, and that
or
makes
with
sense.
a garrote wire.
Someone mentioned that the mask might filter out smoke and toxins.
Okay.
That's a good point.
That's
50
fair.
Shades of
Yep.
Fandom.
All I needed.
Sold. It looks awesome. Has purpose.
Oh!
Yeah.
That is directly from the comics, that moment.
Another thing the Russo brothers excel at is taking frames from the comics and
Yeah.
making them work in film.
But it doesn't look like they had to pause filming just to
No.
do it, which is what some directors do, like Zack Snyder.
They make it
Where they
integral
do
to the
that
fight.
like that weird 3D movie
And
that
then they
shouldn't
pull
have been
back, like-
3D.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like,
Notice
He has
this.
the shield. Oh!
Foreshadowing, y'all.
You brought a shield to a knife fight, Rogers.
Look, when he drops and catches in like one fluid movement.
That's beautiful. That's what is it? Street fighting ballet, right?
Yeah, here we are.
Here we go.
Oh. The sounds of the arm.
Yeah.
How do you fight a super soldier? You get a cyborg.
A cyborg super soldier. And I love that his mask actually hides his identity.
Mhm. Oh my god.
The action in this is insane.
Such an intense fight. I love this fight. There are fights that bore me. This does not. Look at that.
They seem genuinely like running out of steam.
Ah!
A practical reason for that to happen.
Hi, Bucky.
Buck. Oh, Buck.
Now, did you not know the Winter Soldier was Bucky until this moment?
No, I knew it
Okay.
was on the back of the thing.
Oh, is it? Is it on the back of the box? Marvel, way to fail at marketing.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Well, they did show it in every trailer ever, to be fair.
They didn't show him unmasked in the
It's
first.
like, guys, I know you're real stoked.
I remember
but,
that moment.
I think they
Again,
showed it
in the
every-
theater,
Wah,
when I was in the
wah,
theater,
wah.
half the audience gasped, like, "Oh my God, it's Bucky!"
Really?
And the other half then laughed
At the gasp.
the
It's
gasping.
the opposite of the
Yeah,
Stephen Strange
yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, exactly. It was great.
Captain America, always getting arrested.
Yeah, he's tired, man. He just went
He just
10 rounds with a cyborg. He's tired. And he jumped off a bridge.
he's been busy a couple days,
He
you
was in a
guys.
car crash. Yeah, we cannot just shoot
Captain America in public.
on TV.
Which is a great
my God.
that
With a
shot.
woman and a black dude. Like, it's DC. All of this is the worst.
This is on the news. I love that this kind of mirrored the post-Civil War Captain America being shot in the steps shot.
yeah.
Like that always reminded me of that, like the big coverage and like we can't do it here. How Chris Evans pulls off sideburns, I'll never understand.
Ooh, that makes me think of Daredevil. That scene with Daredevil.
Yes.
Yay!
Finally, Maria Hill does something cool.
2 strong female characters? I don't know, guys. Might be too much.
What are
Come
women?
on, Marvel.
But there's a scene where they're sitting down and they both can't decide what they want to order. No, are
This-
you gonna?
And then they start fighting over a guy.
Is there a violent Bachdal test? Because this movie passes.
This tells you a lot about Rumlow, too. That he was fine with the idea of just executing Cap in a frickin' tunnel.
As long as it wasn't public.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, He has
Yeah.
no respect for Captain America.
No. You get the feeling at least Pierce would have said something to him and to give him some dignity. Oh, here comes up a couple cameos in this base. These are fun cameos. Well, not him, but that's cool.
Oh, but I mean, he's not dead, so
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
That is a moment, you guys. Caps. Yep.
You know who that doctor is, right?
No.
Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch, you look so different.
That is Joe Russo, one of the 2 directors of this movie.
And that was the first time I'd seen him, so I didn't realize till later when I watched an interview. I was like, why does that guy look weirdly familiar?
Oh, I saw you patch up Black Widow.
Yeah.
And here's another cameo in this sequence.
With a certain writer.
Yes.
I'd forgotten the Russo cameo. I remember this one because it was in the trailers, and I was like,
The brainwashing of Bucky is such a tragic tale. Like,
Ugh, it is so sad.
the use of texture in that room. I love the saves.
oh,
and, like, it's so
the use
beautiful.
of color and texture throughout this film is brilliant. Okay, bearded dude who just showed up is
There he is.
Ed Brubaker,
The writer of The Winter Soldier.
Oh my god.
the guy who brought Bucky back from the dead and made him this compelling new version of the character. I love him. I'm a precious cinnamon roll. I'm too good for this world. Oh, Bucky. This right here. Bucky's reaction to the guard in his mouth that they put in his mouth is so telling. Like, the lack of resistance, doesn't even look at the guy. He just immediately opens his mouth.
He's just
he knows
he's
what's
dealt
coming.
with that. Yeah.
This is what his life has been for years now.
Decades.
Yeah. Like he's so used to this. He is truly this abused person.
That one line of dialogue that like negates the whole Death Star idea. We assume they're all Hydra. If we kill them, they're all Hydra.
So the Russo brothers talked about that it's almost a third of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been infiltrated in some way or another. I do what he does, just slower.
Mackie's so perfect.
Which is why Sam Wilson deserved to become Captain America recently in the comics.
And it's a great, great comic.
In the comics, he and Nick had an interesting relationship because they're both World War II guys. But whereas Cap was frozen, Nick lived those decades out.
He saw everything that happened because of the actions.
So it made them very different in the end. And this is a lovely scene. Again, the familiarity between them. You show it through action.
Not through blind exposition. Somehow he makes blind positivity seem realistic, and that's incredible. Every single thing is telling him nothing will work, and he's like, "No, it'll work," and you're like, "Okay, I believe you."
It's also, I mean, it's more about Stan Lee.
Yeah, this cameo, the Stan Lee cameos. Yes.
So here's a fun fact. So Stan Lee did not create Captain America. Joe Simon and Jack Kirby did. However, along with being the guy who, with Jack Kirby, decades later, redefined Cap as this soldier out of time, this man out of time, to use Zola's phrase. Stan Lee also, in 1941, was the first guy to write a story where Cap throws his shield.
Interesting.
Oh.
That was not seen as a thing to do. It happened in Captain America issue 2, in a prose 2-page story that Stan Lee wrote, that he threw his shield.
That's amazing.
And it really wasn't picked up. Like, other writers didn't do that through the 40s and 50s. But then
Stan
when
Lee.
Jack and Stan brought him back,
That's
boom.
amazing. I love that. I did
Shield,
not know that.
Shield all over.
And see, the actor, the Asian fellow, is also in The Dark Knight, which ties our DC and Marvel universes together into my giant M&M universe.
50 Shades of Fandom, you're right. They do love each other so much. Hey,
yeah.
Community shout out because we have 2 directors of Community directing this movie. Alison Brie was in talks to be in this movie, and it fell through.
I wonder who she was going to be.
I heard one person say she was supposed to be Agent 13.
That's what I was assuming.
She would have fit that character very nicely.
She's incredible.
No holograms here. Sup?
I love the reasoning and the way he gets his suit back, and then that whole, it's so great.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Funyuns. And Funyuns.
Almost. He showed up in, was it Avengers?
I think so.
Doing this by voiceover is so powerful.
Yeah. See, this movie, what the Russos have done that certain other directors at Warner Brothers don't do, is realize that Captain America's morality is not less realistic than the powers of the Marvel Universe.
Striving for better is not a bad thing, I think.
No,
and that's
of
the
course
character. That's the beauty of the character.
I mean, if it is, then there should be no superheroes or hero stories.
Exactly,
Like,
and that's
what's
why
the point?
Cap is like the ultimate of them. That's why they all
Yeah.
look to him. That's why he leads them.
Yeah.
Because his morality is that strong.
Well, like, on every hero story comes down to a character saying, I can be better, or this should be better. Well done.
Woo! He's a good guy. Good guy.
Yes, Captain's orders.
Thank you, neighbor.
Yes.
You're standing on the traitor side. Right there.
Also on the barrel side of my gun there. Yeah, he was the guy responsible for the rescue pods. Thanks, Swan Pride. I knew he was in there.
That's, again, Agent 13, man, saves a dude life by kicking the chair.
Yep, and that was real close. And then they showed him underneath, like. I love the use of CGI in the water because it makes something so unbelievable, so real. Like the meshing of reality into this unreality in this movie is so on point.
Well, the fact that, the best directors use CGI and practical effects.
Yeah, it augments instead of
it
replacing.
augments. It's not just, making everyone look like they're fighting in a video game. 'Cause
Exactly.
That gets boring to me after a
And
while.
this isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailers, but that's why I like the new Spider-Man suit so much. It is so beautiful.
Yeah. And he finally has eyes that can go from Steve
Yeah.
Ditko eyes to John Romita eyes.
Exactly. And that's the
Nerds.
that Silver Age moment. Yeah, that was the
We're
first thing I said.
nerds.
Guys, you know what this place is missing? Girlfriends.
Oh.
Ouch. Shots fired.
Booze
The-
at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did the girl in the panda onesie just insult our girlfriendhood?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
she's allowed. I'm single. That's totally fine.
Like, the movie goes from intimate conversations in cars to small panels to giant flying helicarrier fights with ease.
But they know they're pacing.
Beautifully.
And we don't have a Michael Bay problem of not being able to follow the action.
Right. Everything it's not shaky, it's focused.
Falcon stays roughly in the center of the screen. Yeah. Nice.
Ooh.
That's Steve Rogers' influence right there. And the fact that many people are good.
Oh my god. Can we... number 4.
Well, keep watching.
Number 1.
Oh, wait, back to 3, sorry.
It's like, what does it look like I'm doing?
I am in the middle of a firefight with wings on, you guys.
A gunship is firing at me.
It's not... And I love how they made the gunships feel like old pirate gunships, but, like, in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, the gunships in the Marvel Universe are so somehow believable. Straight from the comics.
Well, here's something we didn't talk about. Black Panther is the first black superhero of mainstream Marvel Comics. There were black heroes in different comics, but Black Panther is the first black superhero. However, Falcon is the first African-American superhero.
Yep.
Because Black Panther is African.
Right.
But Sam Wilson here grew up in Harlem, New York.
And was a criminal very
That's
briefly, and
neat.
then...
Yeah, that was added into his backstory later. Originally, he was just this good dude that Cap met.
Yeah. And then they did the flashback
And
of the Red
then-
Skull stuff.
Yeah, right. Which people are mixed about, understandably.
Understandably. I like his MCU origins much better.
Yes.
Ooh, that really opens for the 3rd one.
And this is interesting that Natasha has to deal with accountability,
Yeah, of all people.
which in a way we have seen before. In Avengers, she talked about being very aware that there is red on her ledger, as she says, and that she wants to make up for it.
And she's willing to expose it if that means the greater
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And going back to Black Panther, in the comics, Falcon originally didn't have any flight ability or powers. He was just a physical dude in a suit who teamed up with Captain America and amazingly got cover billing as well. So the comic became Captain America and the Falcon. And then Black Panther decided, well, you should live up to your name, man, and made him the Wings.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that is what in the comics the Wings are Wakandan science.
Nice, nice.
Oh no! Who could
There
have
he is.
Who could have foreseen the Winter Soldier returning for this battle? Vicious.
Ooh.
He uses his arm as a shield.
Which is really, that's why it's got a star on it. It's like the counter Captain America arm shield.
Yeah, that's actually, it works nicely. It's originally intended as a Russian thing, but in this it still works because
Like like the opposite. Though.
yeah, it's the
like
captain. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
the Ruskies, or maybe there's a political agenda behind that.
I called your mom.
I called all of your moms. They are so mad.
So annoyed. So annoyed. Oh, did we not mention that, like, almost no one dies in this film? Did we not mention that? Okay. Yeah, he's not dead either. We turned up the AC just so his jacket would wave like a cape. I mean, this is really what separates so many superheroes and villains. Does the math work out?
Mm-hmm. And the rationale behind it.
Ew, gross.
So awesome. The eye is a storytelling device.
That's very badass.
I love the teamwork between Falcon and Cap
Also, that is the most epic trust fall ever.
in the history of time. Yeah. A superhero trust fall. Diving off. Catch me, bro.
Eh.
And the shield is heavy.
Oh man, that sucks.
Ah!
That's gotta hurt.
Now this is just fun on a fan level, as like the two
new Caps.
two sidekicks, the two new Captain Americas, the two sidekicks, the two best friends.
Yeah. Oh man.
Now he's trust falling, but less trust.
More folly.
This
More
is how
falling.
I fall.
Ah!
A lot of flailing and screaming, but I got a parachute.
Swan Pride wants to know what you're thinking of the movie so far.
It's amazing. It's so epic that I'm having like trouble like.
The scope
like-
is huge.
Yeah, it's like
Remember I told
from
you
the
this
first
was-
movie to the second one.
it's
It's
insane.
just there's a lot more to digest. The first one was sort of like a
Origin movie.
yes, the origin movie.
Yeah.
And then this is like, well, there's a lot going on, and like, but it is so epic, and the action sequences are amazing.
And it's got a very particular tone to it that no other superhero movie really has.
Yeah, it's easily it's right up there with Guardians, which
Yeah,
is my
this and
favorite.
Guardians are
yeah,
the two for me.
which is so weird that I'm like that like today like that happened for me. Yeah, I've never been like so like I mean I was like grabbing you guys every 10 seconds. I was like
No objection.
quasi gross.
Girls' cooties?
I know he lives in the 50s still.
Oh,
We're
precious,
not wed.
precious cinnamon roll. You
But
two
yeah,
can make
is
up.
that a wedlock? Oh,
Ugh.
Come on, you love each other.
remember me, remember the good times.
Outside exposition like that totally works. That was beautiful.
Mhm.
Isn't it amazing how much more you care about a superhero or a friend fight when you actually have set up that they're friends and give us a reason to care
So
about
strange
them?
how much that matters.
It's like, as opposed to like if they were meeting for the first time, we're just jerks to each other.
You know, I've
Yeah, it's
never
like
heard of something like that
guy's
happening.
It's not like that guy's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, which is so weird. It's not
You
okay.
care-
It's not a boss battle. It's
No.
like it's not a traditional
There
like
is no bad guy.
fighting
You
Hydra.
empathize.
Yeah. The bad guy is like the like the
Robert
the-
Redford.
yes.
Yes.
Well, he like moves
And even
along,
that,
but it's
there
like
there is a friendship connection there.
And there is some rationale behind it.
Yes.
mhm.
It's not just
evil
we
for
can't
the sake
both
for
be
money.
superheroes.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
I don't like your ethics. We will fight and destroy a city.
On Twitter.
I also really
Nick Fury cares about Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow.
That's what I meant by.
Or are you just making a tangential comment?
I think he
This
cares
is cool.
at that
He
moment. He's
hosts
thinking about
Marvel
her.
movie news.
She has scarlet
He has all
hair.
his
It's a
knowledge.
whole thing.
He's so knowledgeable of
Yeah.
things. And
I get excited. I saw Civil War. It's
I
still in my
understand.
mind.
I understand.
ooh, Uncle.
There hasn't been this cool of a knife fight since James Dean.
Yeah.
Like, a cinematic knife fight? It's crazy.
Ah.
It's like because it feels like how you fight with like your family or like a friend. It feels so like.
Man, Thanksgiving must be savage at your house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
Yeah,
even
James is
know.
like, "That's how I
It
fight
is
my
a
family."
Thanksgiving
That's
till
scary or
you.
hot.
My mom's metal arm.
Oh!
It's not Thanksgiving until your dad taps.
This movie also has so many villains, but balances them so well.
I love that
The Crossbones.
Yeah, we were alluding to Crossbones. Another important difference there. Like, Falcon is fighting because it needs to be done. Brock is fighting because he likes
wants to fight.
hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to hurt people. And in the comics, since he works with guys like the Red Skull, he's also a racist guy.
Yeah, he's not the best guy.
Yeah.
Oh, racist! We don't like him.
He was okay up to this point.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe no.
Nah.
No.
I love that they used the costume and how they got the costume back, and that he's fighting as Captain America now after
Yeah.
getting rid of his police outfit. Like, there's so
yeah,
much.
Yeah, I'm not wearing my S.H.I.E.L.D. uniform.
It's so
I'm
good.
wearing.
I'm
This is
Captain
why
America.
I was made. This is why I was made, to win fights, to stop a war.
Oh, the shot in the stomach. I forgot about that, just like in the comics.
The algorithm needs a name, guys. Deploy algorithm is not a very threatening sentence.
Yeah.
Like, update the app. Updating the app.
Updating the app.
Updating the app.
Spotify's live. Spotify is live.
Wi-Fi is spotty. Turn on and off again.
The Avengers Tower,
We
quickly.
just saw Avengers Tower. Technically, that's the first time we've seen it as Avengers Tower.
Yep. And it was for like 3 frames.
I'm curious if they're shooting Tony in there or Pepper.
Ooh, interesting.
Mm.
If anyone wants to
Bruce.
comment their opinion.
Or Bruce.
Might be Bruce.
Ooh.
Technically, they're everywhere.
And so many people save the day. I love that this is all a team effort. Like, it's not just Cap. It's not just Sam Wilson. It's not just Maria Hill. Everyone does their job.
That's what you need in an Avengers film. That's what you need in any superhero team film.
The scope of it. And
It needs to be that everyone's part of a machine.
and I think Marvel movies do that really well.
Sometimes they do.
Phase 2 on. I guess I'm really commenting on the newer side. Oh, it
This
says
does it well.
apparently his name was written beside the target. If you look closely, it was Tony, so they were targeting
was
Tony.
Tony.
Oh, okay. Thank
Thanks
you.
again, Swan Pride.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pause it during our live commentary.
Just zoom in and find out. Once again, it reminds me of like old pirate battles on the high seas, just shooting at each other. It's so cool to have
You're just
sci-fi.
getting older and older with every.
You remember the 1850s?
Hey, remember that? That was
I
great
love
times
the 1850s
where
when I
the
was
men
watching
were
those
men
pirate
and
ships.
the pirates are just pirates.
They really treated women well back in the 1850s. I can't imagine directing something like this where you're literally just filming the sky. You're like, we'll figure it out later. We'll just put some ones and zeros in there.
Right?
Like, this is all not real. That's incredible to me. CGI is like the ultimate fix-it in post, and that blows my mind.
This actually, I mean, this happens in DC quite frequently. I don't want to call you out. but,
damn.
like this.
They just threw a GoPro up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. This is these are just
Call this Sunday.
yeah.
They'll would just like do one where we took all the CGI out.
It's just
and
them
saw what it
filming the
looked like.
clouds.
It's like taking the laugh track at a Big Bang Theory. It'd just be really
Right,
weird.
where everyone just has these awkward pauses after making like really, really flat references.
Yeah.
That's just Robert Redford just hanging out in an office.
We just shoot that.
I think one of the reasons this movie is regarded as one of the best Marvel films is the villain problem Marvel admits they have has no grounds here, really. Like,
No, this is a great villain. It's
There
chock
are-
full of great villains.
yeah, it's multiple fleshed out villains and an ending that doesn't involve gray minions.
And a plan that isn't just we punch until we're done punching.
And a great commentary on the times. There's a lot.
I remember when this came out, and I thought this is the Superman movie I wanted to see in some ways.
Oh, that depresses me.
Especially with certain moments coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is great.
Falcon is so good in this.
And again, like, we gave him an ability, but then we put him in real danger.
Oh, hell yeah.
All that flight training.
It's a great comment.
He gets the best one-liners. Or his delivery of them. Or it's
they just handle it.
It's so funny.
So much emotion in this fight.
Oh. It's very
Yeah.
Star Wars. Dude, that's what it feels like.
I am your brother.
Yeah.
Again, this is about principles. Like, it's not about taking the easy route. I'm not gonna snap your neck because it would end things fast. I
And
have
it's
a
much more
principle.
brutal to do this. This hurts
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh no! Oh, Jaden's gonna cry. Oh,
It's
he
totally
looks like
accept-
Gerard Way, and I'm so into that. Like,
He's got a different Black Parade, though, altogether.
oh my god, it's so
Oh, no.
like I'm not okay.
I love how this also recalls the first Captain America movie of Steve falling into the Arctic waters
And being
just-
frozen at the end.
and just falling to sleep.
Oh my god! And he goes, he's like in the year 3000.
And yeah,
in
when
the
I
next
wake up
movie.
again, the
Is he gonna
world-
wake up in a really
the world
weird
will be gone and my friends will be gone again.
past, present, future? That seems to be. That's my prediction for the next movie.
You think Civil Wars takes place in the 3000?
Civil War takes
with
place
with
in the
the
year
later Guardians of the Galaxy team.
Yes, he's in. That's when they start doing references to Guardians of the Galaxy, crossing those guys over.
Oh, the shot. Credits. It's over. Sorry, Jay.
Right? I was
No.
like, I was kind of scared that was gonna happen.
Yeah, every scene in this movie serves Captain America either influencing someone, getting someone back into where they should be,
Or growing
or
himself.
shaking them. To
Oh, I
face
love
reality.
that.
Yes.
Oh.
Here's the line.
so
You.
good. Oh,
Beautiful,
Russo's, man.
beautiful
Thank you.
soundtrack. Yeah, Agent 13. We've seen more of her. Yeah, because S.H.I.E.L.D's done now.
And there's actual Fallout, which I love.
She's going to work for Stark. Oh, man.
We were not fans of the Larry Sanders Show.
Come with us. I love this shot.
Oh, Brock is burned.
Yes.
That's as he got burned later in the comics. In the comics, he also trained under Taskmaster, and I keep hoping to see Taskmaster in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I feel like they'll go Netflix with Taskmaster. I feel like there's a
Probably.
lot to tell.
Yeah. The many safe houses of Nick Fury.
The continued commentary on superheroes' place in the world that Marvel does.
Yeah,
I think,
again,
brilliantly.
this is leading into Civil War.
It all ties so. Oh.
And Black Widow has faced trials for certain crimes in the comics too, and it's always an interesting thing with her character.
For the listeners out there, the hardest part for me has been not saying a thing about Civil War. Know that this ties in beautifully, and that you should all rewatch it after seeing Civil War, and that Civil War is going to change your life.
Thanks, Quay.
That's all
Appreciate
I
that.
got, because it's been hard. It's been real hard.
Here comes one of the funniest references.
Yes.
The Path of the Righteous Man, Ezekiel. We have a Pulp Fiction
Pulp Fiction.
reference
Oh my
on
god.
Nick
Fiction
Fury's
in-
tombstone.
That's so ridiculous.
It's all one
That's
universe,
so
you guys.
funny.
It's all one
all
universe.
one universe. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Hey.
Aw. They can just be
Friends.
friends.
Yeah.
Bless you.
I was like, not in the mic.
Yeah, I
Comrades.
thought you were gonna throw up. Like they can. They could just be
Comrades in
Not
arms. Oh, Buck.
a man and a woman, just friends.
This isn't the 50s.
No way, no how. I like that they're not really talking to each other.
Yes, I know. When do we start?
Yay!
Yeah, one of my first Marvel comics was the Marvel Holiday Special they had in the early '90s, and in it there was a short story where Steve was working at like a VA center, and was talking to this older woman who mentioned that her brother had fought in World War II but had disappeared, and she wasn't sure whatever happened to him. and it turned out that her name was Rebecca Barnes,
Ha!
and she was Bucky's sister.
Amazing.
And so then Cap suited up and went to her house for Christmas and presented her with one of the badges from Bucky's uniform and told her, your brother was my partner.
That's amazing. I like that.
Oh.
And had Christmas dinner with them. And it was just this beautiful, beautiful story. Absolutely beautiful story.
I had a really hard time doing commentary on this because of how much I love this movie.
It's an amazing movie. It's tough to do it when you're just so enwrapped.
I've seen this probably 6 to 8 times, and I still just became enamored with it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I agree, live chat. This credit scene is one of the best, period. The Russo brothers know what they're doing, like, from opening credits to end credits. They just got it. With this propaganda visual, like, there's so much, and it's like a comic flavor.
The Hayley Atwell thing kills me, because that recalls that Cap had her photo in his compass.
Yep. And the Toby Cabell being our names. Like, there's so much. This is so beautiful. I love the black and white with splashes of color.
Alan Adale from Robin Hood?
Technology,
Oh.
S.H.I.E.L.D, America. They're so...
Robert Redford, man. Oh, what's this? What's this, viewers?
Ooh.
Aha. The Mind Stone inside Loki's staff.
The bad guy monocle.
It's strong.
Strong bad guy game.
Now, in the days after this movie came out, we saw that when Hydra took over and revealed themselves, certain bad guys raided the S.H.I.E.L.D. storage units. So it makes sense that some Hydra people have gotten items such as Loki's staff.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the twins. We can't say mutants, so
We'll use the other M word.
I'm going to call them miracles. That is Quicksilver, but we will not call him Quicksilver because we do not want to confuse people who watch X-Men.
But this is still Scarlet Witch because
That
she
is
is an
still Scarlet
Avenger.
Witch, and we've reinterpreted her powers.
We
because
could only
her powers
afford the
never,
2.
Never really made sense until.
But we made them make
until
sense-ish.
Kurt Busiek and then Jeff Johns. Have you read Jeff Johns' Avengers run? It's very good. I hope you. It's excellent stuff and
All through the monocle.
exactly.
All through the monocle. All of it. 100%
All of
monocle
it.
talk. That's all that is.
Yeah. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were an interesting gray area legally speaking because
They were both things.
well because although Scarlet Witch started with X-Men as a villain, she was so closely associated with Avengers, and when she joined, always stuck there.
Right.
That she was generally considered an Avengers character.
And the retconning of continuity probably helped their cause. Like the fact that they changed them from like Magneto's kids, not Magneto's kids, like back and forth,
I think that was done. Yeah, I mean, because there's people talk about like, oh, but they're Magneto's kids. Well, that wasn't until the 80s. They
Right,
had
and then it was
two
taken away again.
origins- Right, they had 2 origins before that for like a good 20 years.
Mhm.
One of the origins was that they actually were the children of Miss America and the Whizzer, who served along Captain America in the All-Winter Squad and the Liberty Legion. And but Quicksilver was a much trickier thing because he was an Avenger for so long, but
And
then
a
he was
mutant.
he was with the Inhumans, and then he was back for an X Factor for years, and he became such a stronger, cemented mutant.
And now he
slash
dead.
X-Men character.
Yeah.
And now you
And-
got him dead.
Yeah, so they basically seem to agree on we'll use Quicksilver but not call him that.
Right. And
he-
Scarlet Witch
his-
is not really called Scarlet Witch either.
Right. So it's like we're going to use them, but only Scarlet Witch will stick around since she's really an Avenger.
Right.
We'll get rid of Quicksilver
And
quick.
that'll make her character stronger.
Right. And meanwhile, over in X-Men,
We'll
Days of
use
Future
Quicksilver.
Past, they used Quicksilver. They called him Quicksilver. He's clearly Magneto's kid. But then
Right.
also, he doesn't have a twin sister. He has a younger sister.
He has a little sister, yeah,
who
kid
seems
sister.
unlikely that
Who just
she'll-
wears red princess
Right,
outfits.
she's just there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am excited for the X-Men universe having that Quicksilver, because I think they did a great job with him.
I think they did an excellent job with him.
And I think Fox is really, really up in their game.
Oh, Nick Frank.
So final thoughts on this movie? First timer?
You know what? More minions. I like one. That's my one critique.
Oh, you need more gray
is,
minions?
You know, if there were more minions in this movie, that probably be better for
higher
everyone.
quality. Okay, I got you.
Just minions.
So, as a lover of Guardians and now having seen Winter Soldier,
But yeah, seriously, this was a fantastic watch, and it was just almost too early in the morning for me to like wrap my head around it. It was just sort of
it's a
like
pretty big movie.
yeah, like I was there, man. It was a lot.
And it's good you've seen it before Civil War.
Yes.
Yes.
It's good. Yeah, that I've been like waiting because I've been wanting
Special
to do this.
thanks to there's Ed Brubaker,
Bendis,
our boy,
Brubaker.
Brubaker.
Gene Colan, yeah.
Steve Epting, a lot of quality names, you guys.
Don Heck,
Good people
yeah.
to thank.
Don Rico. Yeah.
Jason Chu, shout out, digital artist.
It still holds up. It's such a good movie. I can't decide between Guardians and this because they're so different as films and they're both so strong as films.
So here's a fun little factoid just to end this on trivia. Here, when they bring up Steve's file, he's just called Stephen Rogers, no middle name. You can see that on the file. In the World War II era movie, Tommy Lee Jones' character calls him Stephen Grant Rogers at one point. In the comics, he was called Stephen Grant Rogers for a while, and then this was revised as actually being a fake alias, tying him to a real Stephen Grant Rogers who had lived, so that if Hydra or other people tried to look up his past, they would think he was this Stephen Grant Rogers who had grown up like outside D.C. and had a politician father.
That's cool.
And they would think that was his past. They would not know he was actually Steve Rogers, no middle name, from Brooklyn, who was first-generation Irish with both his parents dead, and that he'd worked in like the WPA as an artist for years before.
I dig that. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, so it makes sense that Tommy Lee Jones would say that name and S.H.I.E.L.D. would not have a middle name. Because S.H.I.E.L.D. knows his real past and name. Yep, so that's a little weird trivia for you folks.
Nick, you think Civil War is better than Winter Soldier. I think that... spoiler free. I think that Winter Soldier is a better film. I think that Civil War is the most comic film I have ever seen in my life. And as a comic fan, I enjoyed the comicness. As a film fan, I enjoyed the filmness of Winter Soldier. So they're very different, and I love them.
It's also like saying, well, The Godfather 2 is better. But you need The Godfather 1
to get there.
inform it.
Yeah, and I think they're both very different flavors.
Yeah.
They're all amazing, and I am so happy to be alive at a time where I get the option of being upset about which is better or not.
That's amazing to me. Like, remember when we were kids, and the live-action Captain America films were such crap, but they were all we had.
So we loved them.
So we loved them just because, like...
Those rubber ears, we'll take them. We'll take your rubber ears.
It was live.
Yeah.
Whereas, this is what we call a stinger scene. Something you put after the credits. What's happening? Precious cinnamon roll. Who was I?
Who am I?
Sebastian Stan is truly a magnificent actor, and he can portray so much with his eyes.
So much eyeball acting?
Like if anyone out there, if you've not seen Kings, go watch Kings. Get the DVD. He is amazing in that show.
It has been real live chat. We now have to prep for our show in half an hour. So thank you all, and we'll see you in 30. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Is that going to be a problem? Yeah. I'm so sorry. I thought we were just doing the watch-along.
I was hoping we could continue our romance.
I know, right? Our on-screen. There's all this sexual, just raw sexual tension.
Let me pee and come back to... Okay, we're... Let's put on our clothes.
Yeah, you guys have you
Let's switch clothes. Just confuse him.
Oh man. This is good. I'm exhausted. I need to go eat something. I need to go write the script for today.
I am.
I know. You poor things.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like.
What are we catering today?
I know it frustrated my last girlfriend where like at times I'd be like, I'm so fucking exhausted. What did you? Well, we watched this movie and did live commentary and then
And it's
I
like,
talked
oh,
about the
okay.
history of X-Men for 2 hours and right, okay, I sound like
Okay,
an
poor
asshole.
you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Tell me about your day.
Right? Seriously, it's so funny. Oh, this is a good movie.
I'm excited to see Civil War tonight.
You see it tonight?
God damn it, this check isn't cleared.
There's this great place across the street that I love. I don't even know what it's called. Tom's, I think. Super good. Super good, like, divey burger place.
That sounds awesome.
It's
Sadly,
amazing.
right now I just have to wait a couple hours for my damn check clears. It was late.
No, I hate that.
And then I'm fine for like the next few months, but it's just one of those days. Oh well.
So I've been waiting on my tax return for a million trillion years.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Oh man, that's been actually the biggest gift of these books is when I get my royalty checks, usually like a month before I see what taxes I owe. Because since I basically employ myself, I tend to owe some taxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just got a Game of Thrones cookbook royalty check came last week. I was like,
Like, finally, Jesus. Yeah.
Still, that book's still selling.
I can eat.
I'm eating food today.
Yeah, my money is largely based on, I got a job at a movie theater restaurant.
Okay.
And my job is largely based on the quality of films. So in this lead up to summer, it's been real dry pickings.
Oh yeah.
But now that Civil War is out, I'm like, oh thank God, I can live a little.
I've been doing some Postmates work just to start building up my savings again. Well, also because I wound up just deciding to pay off all my remaining student loans in one shot in January.
Having
So-
a day job's been the best thing for my sanity
Yeah.
because it gives me a place to go.
But yeah, so like I did that. It was like, this is awesome. I'm glad I did it. But man, my savings just got wiped out
Yeah,
because I
dude.
did that.
Building a nest is really important for the psyche.
Yeah. So I'm back to building up my savings again.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything tonight for Cinco de Mayo? Your pockets have been inside out this entire show.
That's how the kids wear it.
Showing how Paula I am.
Did you not see Back to the Future 2?
Pockets is empty because tonight I have work tomorrow at 6 a.m. because Captain America has a 6:30 a.m. show.
Oh,
So I have to be at Pasadena at 6 a.m. which means I have to get up at 5.
Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you about too. Was I think you guys did it on the show and you guys talked about it on Marvel Movie News. That prequel thing that came out before Civil War, the little like the news.
Yes.
Okay, so my friend who I work with at Full Screen, writes it.
Oh, that's awesome.
He wrote it and he loves you guys over here. And I told him, I was like, yeah, like I'll let you. He wants to come on. Is
Oh,
what I'm
fuck
trying
yeah.
to say. Do
Great.
you want to have him?
Or do you mean those news videos? that you
Yeah,
do?
my
A friend of
friend
mine co-writes those.
John, what's his name? Is it John something?
No.
His last name is like hyphenated. It's crazy.
No,
But
it's
he's great. He's hilarious. He's super knowledgeable, and he likes you guys. So he
That'd
made
be
sure to
awesome.
message me.
Cool.
I'm gonna forward your info to him.
Yeah,
then.
please. That'd be awesome.
That's cool.
I'm gonna see what room we're in and then.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna go grab some. Yes.
Thanks, sir.
There we go. Bam.
Nice.
Oh man, you gotta tweet that out to me.
I totally will.
I'm gonna go eat next door. Maybe I'll come by and swing by after and say hi.
Do it. We'll be here for the next
I'll
hour and
text
a
you
half.
before. I won't just like, hey,
Just
what's
walk
going
into
on
a live
here?
chat. Oh hey, hey gang.
Hey guys.
Whole thing.
Oh man.
Yeah. So tonight I'm busy, but I have Tuesday, Wednesday free next week.
Ooh, Wednesday might be good for me. I've been over at Full Screen like, because we just launched, it's been like 5 days a week over there, and like
Yeah.
just my weekends free. But now it's like,
Settling down to
well, I
Wednesday.
mean,
Are you on Instagram?
I am on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Active. I'm really glad that happened.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.